Hey, welcome back to On The Ball. Welcome back to another episode of Review the Prem, where me and my brother go head-to-head in predicting Premier League outcomes. 5 points for a scoreline prediction correct, 1 point for a correct result. Star man, once you pick that man, you can't pick them again for the rest of the season. 5 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist. Currently, I'm in the lead, 207 to 188. And let's see how we got on the weekend's fixtures. Starting off at the Vitality, Bournemouth 5, Nottingham Forest 0. A big humbling for Nottingham Forest in this game. Sim went for 1-0 to Forest. I went for 1-1. So I did feel like Forest could drop points in this one, but I didn't envisage an injury-ravaged Bournemouth absolutely battering them. And that's like going away to St James's Park winning 4-1. They're better with the injuries than they are without the injuries.
Unbelievable, isn't it? But also ironic that Forest fan has been in our comments pillaring me for not predicting a Forest win. The one time I did, they lose 5-0. Come on, I can't win here. But incredible result for Bournemouth. No one saw that coming. 5-0 against what I think before this game must have been the meanest defence in the league, or definitely up there. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Bournemouth keep going from strength to strength. I'm beaten in 11 games at the moment. Absolutely mad. The form that Cliver and Utara are on, absolutely amazing. And that, I think it helps them that even though they're missing their strikers, their front line are very interchangeable. You've got Semenyo, Utara, Cliver, all very kind of versatile forwards. All can kind of, in a way, it kind of makes their forward line more unpredictable because you don't know who's going to be in which position at any time. But clearly, it's causing defences a lot of problems. And the way Iraola plays, causing chaos in opposition defences. And Forest just couldn't live with them. And but to win 5-0 against a really good Forest team is really, really impressive. And Bournemouth right in there now, 1 point behind fourth. The form they're on, who would put it past them to keep this up at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a bit of a kind of back down to earth result for Nottingham Forest with what
told you they're going to drop. I keep telling you.
What they've been on recently. But look, you've got to give credit to Andoni and you've got to give credit to this Bournemouth side because they're just smashing teams at the moment and smashing teams that are on amazing form.
Yeah, it's mad.
You know, Newcastle, amazing form going into that. Forest, amazing form going into it. And Bournemouth said, nah, we don't care. We're going to absolutely smash you. And Utara gets the hat-trick. Cliver got the hat-trick last week, I think, and then backs up with a goal. I mean, this guy, Cliver, is on scintillating form. He really is.
Is he finally living up to that potential?
I think he is. Yeah, in the current form, he is. Yeah, he just needs to keep it up.
Because everyone was wondering, because he was a good young player at Ajax, and then he kind of lost his way. He was at Roma and a few other teams, and everyone's wondering, is he really ever going to become that player that Mourinho said in that final, you know, sign for me because I'll make you a special player. He never really looked like he lost his way a bit, but recent weeks, it looks like he's on top of his game at the moment.
Yeah, Andoni has fulfilled Jose Mourinho's promise.
Looks like it.
But in terms of Utara as well, like he's been used as like a super sub for the majority of the season. Injuries meaning that he's getting the start, and he really is like grabbing that chance with both hands, isn't he?
Incredible hat-trick. Yeah, it was against Nottingham Forest. I mean, that's incredible. And he's a player who's been playing on the left back sometimes, especially at the beginning of the season, used on the wings, and now he's doing a job up front. And what a job he's doing! Incredibly leading the line. And I think, yeah, as I say, the way he interchanges with Semenyo is impressive, and it's just incredible how Andoni's got this team playing at the moment, especially with the injuries as well. On top of that, really seriously impressive from him.
Yeah, let's move on to the Amex. It's Brighton 0, Everton 1. Sim went for 2-0. He went to 2-0 to Everton, so he gets a point. I went for 2-1 to Brighton, so I get 0 for this one. And you know, Everton get a penalty just before half time, and you know, it was Brighton pretty much peppering them for the whole of the second half, but they couldn't really create a chance. I thought Everton defended unbelievably well. Jarrod Branthwaite at the heart of things. And yeah, they just couldn't break them down really for love nor money. And it was a good 3 points for Everton. 2 wins in 2 now for David Moyes. But I want to talk about Iliman Ndiaye because he gets the penalty. He scores the penalty, and he does the celebration. He does the seagull celebration in front of the Brighton fans. And he gets booked for it. I'm like, what is going on? The game is gone. Seriously, how could you do a celebration like that and you get booked for? It's ridiculous.
Madness. Why are we stopping celebrations? Like, come on, allow players to celebrate how they want.
Just a bit of shithousery, guys. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
That's like booking Morpie for doing the dart celebration. Like, that would have been equivalent.
If he gets booked for that, then why isn't Vardy getting booked for the celebration that he did against Spurs?
What did he do?
He went up to the Spurs fans, pointed to the badge, Premier League badge.
You mean the one that on the weekend?
Yeah.
Again, he did it because that's the second time he did it.
He pointed to the badge and he said, 1 for me, 0 for you.
Right. Yeah, he should be getting sent off for that. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, why are we taking the fun out of the game? This is what the game's all about. These kind of moments, and you want to see some personality. The players were on robots, and you want to see they actually care about the situation, like they care about what's going on the pitch. And when they do these kind of things, that's what we love about the Premier League. That's what we love about football. So I think it's ridiculous that players getting booked for those kind of things. I think it's a joke. But brilliant win for Everton. The Moyes revolution up and running. Everton with 2 wins in a row. But again, it's a theme of Brighton. I think Southampton, Ipswich, Wolves, Leicester, and now Everton, I think they failed to beat any of them this season, which is obviously something they struggled with throughout the whole season, Brighton. And off the back of 2 consecutive wins, disappointing result really at home to Everton. But yeah, I think Moyes will be delighted with that. And Ndiaye obviously did get booked for it, but he's obviously been brilliant in Moyes' first 2 games, and he has actually had a really good season for Everton, albeit I think maybe earlier in the season maybe didn't have the end product, but he's got 2-2 now for Everton, and he's clearly a guy with lots of ability, brilliant dribbler, and he kind of reminds me of Cunha a bit in a sense that if he can really add that consistent end product, I think a big 6 teams might start circling.
He's a good player, Roman Ndiaye. I really like him, and I think he will add that. I really think he will. Moving on to Anfield, Liverpool 4, Ipswich 1. Both of us going for 3-0, so a point on the board for both of us on this one. Pretty much a routine job for Liverpool, apart from right at the end. I think Ipswich tried to, they created a couple of chances right at the end, but pretty much for 89 minutes it was all Liverpool.
Yeah, easy as you like. Simple day. I don't think it. 3-0 by half time. 3-0. Yeah, 3-0 in the first half. So pretty much as easy as they could have expected it to go. Liverpool, I thought they were dominant. I thought they were rampant. It was like only a matter of time before they broke the deadlock. Obviously, Szoboszlai with a nice goal, and they just went from there. Obviously, Salah back on the score sheet, Gakpo in great form. Simple. So, I mean, what can we say? In this title run-in, they needed to make it simple, and that's exactly what they did. And there you go, they kept the points gap. From Ipswich's point of view, a couple of batterings in a row, not completely unexpected against City and Liverpool, but 10 goals conceded in the last 2 games. So not great just off the back of when they had some decent results, but these aren't the games where they're going to be judged, really.
Yeah, the game that they're going to be judged on is next week against Southampton, and then they need to get 3 points if they have any ambitions to stay in this league. But next up is Southampton against Newcastle at St Mary's. It was 3-1 to Newcastle. Sim went 3-1. I went 3-1. We both get a 5-pointer in this one. And yeah, good performance from Newcastle. Back to winning ways. They needed to have this kind of performance. And I think after the result that they had last week against Bournemouth, probably Southampton were one of the teams that they probably wanted to come up against.
Yeah, for sure. Southampton did go 1-0 up though, didn't they? Quite early on, and thinking, is there a shock on the cards here? Southampton have been playing quite well, actually, I think, albeit still losing every game, but in terms of compared to maybe when Russell Martin was there, they're giving a bit more of a fight. You saw Man United, they took the lead and played quite well in that first half, and I thought against Newcastle they were giving them a bit of a game early on, got the goal, but those defensive deficiencies just aren't going away, are they? And when you got someone like Isaac in the form he's in, it's going to be a big effort to keep him quiet. And obviously, the game was it 3-1 or by half time or 2-1? And they turned it around quickly, and then they got the 3rd goal. There was a moment, maybe Southampton looked like they got back in the game. I think Fernandes scored, but it was a slight offside. VAR ruled it out, and any thoughts of a comeback was put to the wayside. But yeah, it was similar to the game against Forest, where they were very close to getting something out of that game. But this one, Newcastle were just too good for them, and back to winning ways. Newcastle, as you say, and they're in the level on points with City in the top 5, going really well. But Southampton, the big question for Southampton: will they break Derby's record?
Yeah, I'm going to go. Yeah,
5. They need 5 points.
Yeah, I think they will get it.
They will get 5 points.
I think so.
So they won't break Derby's record.
As in they'll beat Derby's points tally, is what I'm saying, yeah. Are you saying no?
I'm unconvinced. They're just losing every week.
We're going for a costume bet.
You want to do a costume bet? Sure. I'm happy to do a costume bet. 5. So they need 5 points from now. No, they need 6 points from now to the end of the season. Yeah.
I don't mind. I like costumes these days.
You've lost 2 out of 2.
I'm used to them now.
All right. Let's do it.
Next up, we're going to go to Molineux. Wolves 0, Arsenal 1. Sim went for 2-0. I went for 2-1. Both get a point on the board here. This was the tale of the 2 red cards in this game. I thought Arsenal were on top before the red card, and then Lewis Skelly gets a red card. What minute was it in the game? It was just before the half time.
Yeah.
Lewis Skelly gets a sent off. And what they're dubbing it as one of the most horrific decisions in Premier League history. I mean, all the Arsenal fans are coming up saying, I've never seen a worse decision in the Premier League. I mean, Luis Diaz's offside was a bit worse than that one. But look, with Lewis Skelly, with his red card, right, I think it was a harsh red card. Obviously, he stops the counter-attack and he should get booked for it. You look at it closer, he does have studs up and it does kind of scrape against the back of his ankle a little bit. So if the referee does see that and he gives the red card, I don't think VAR can overturn it.
Yeah, I think, is it a clear and obvious error? Obviously, we saw a very similar red card a couple of years ago when Emerson got sent off against Arsenal. Pretty much a carbon copy, and no one really complained. I mean, obviously, we as Spurs fans were, but in terms of the wider discussion, the wider discourse of football, no one really said, oh, that's a terrible decision. Everyone just said, whatever, move on from it. But for some reason, this one has garnered a lot of attention, maybe because Arsenal are involved and they've been on the end of some questionable decisions, let's say, this season. So this just adds fuel to the fire. It's not a red card, in my opinion. I think it's definitely not. I think it was a bad decision from the referee. And I do think Arsenal can feel hard done by. But to call it one of the worst decisions ever, I think is also going over the top. I think the furor over this decision is way over the top. And I think it's only because it's Arsenal and the situation they've had this season is probably why it's been like that. Because as you say, I think there's one angle where it doesn't look like there's much contact with his studs, and it looks like maybe it's similar to like Bruno's red card against us early in the season, which obviously got overturned after an appeal. But I think that was worse than that, because clearly there's a clear angle where you see his studs does scrape down the back of his ankle, albeit I would say not with loads of force. But I think that again, what also goes into the decision was the fact that it was a cynical foul, in a sense that he wasn't going for the ball, he was trying to trip him up. And I think when you do that and you end up putting your studs where they ended up, then you're giving the referee a bit of a decision to make, because you're not going for the ball, you're just going to stop the attack and trip the player. And if you end up hurting the player while doing that, then you're asking for trouble, obviously, in that situation. So I don't think it's a red, as I say, but I don't think it deserves this massive, like, worst decision ever kind of talk. I don't think VAR was within its rights to overturn it, because I don't think it was that clear and obvious. And I think what's been made out of this red card is just madness, in my opinion. And I agree with you. I don't think it's a red card. But again, I can see why the red card was given as well. Yeah. So I think at that point in the game, Arsenal were probably the better side. But they were definitely the better side. Yeah, Havertz had a couple of moments, didn't he? But so did Wolves. Sarabia had a chance as well before that. And obviously Arsenal were the better side, but that obviously did stop the breakaway that moment. And then when it was 10 versus 11, Wolves will be kicking themselves that they didn't score, because they did have a couple of really good chances. Got to put it in the back of the net at least twice in that moment. And João Gomez is the big. Oh, what an idiot! Yeah.
Like he pretty much just ruins that whole game for Wolves, because Wolves were the team on top at that moment in time. It looked like if anyone was going to go and get that first goal, it was going to be Wolves. And João Gomez, I think the first yellow card he gets for kicking the ball away. The second one is just a stupid
brainless
challenge. Like,
worse than Skelly's challenge, that one.
Much worse. And it was that was a red card. It should have been a straight red. Probably João Gomez's. And
also, it's on the edge of Arsenal's penalty. Like, what's he doing? Like, no need to make the challenge there so aggressively. And then, as soon as it went 10v10, you just got the feeling Arsenal back in this game, and he scored straight away. Brilliant finish. Yeah, it's a good goal. And but I do think it was odd seeing Rice on Instagram after the game tweet out saying against all odds. Like, it was 10v10 when you scored. What are you chatting about against all odds? They're shameless, these Arsenal lot, from the fans to the players to the manager. They're all shameless. They're playing a Wolves team in the relegation zone, and you won 1-0 when it was 10v10, and you're saying it's against all odds. Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. But that was big, though, because they needed that win. Because if they drop points in that one, then then any talk of the title's probably gone.
But again, though, it just follows on the same kind of performances. Though not a great performance, but they got over the line.
Yeah, true.
Manchester City 3, Chelsea 1, both of us going for 2-2, and it was a bit of a welcome to the Premier League for Kuzanov in those first 5 minutes. Gets a booking, gives away a goal, misplaced about 2 or 3 passes as well, but I thought like after that he did grow into the game and settled into it well. He did get taken off pretty early in the second half of John Stones, but you know, Chelsea go 1-0 up after 3 minutes after a horrific mistake from Kuzanov, and after that I thought pretty much Man City controlled it really well, deserved the win. But what the hell is Sanchez doing for Haaland's goal? Seriously, like
he's
at 1-1, the ball comes over the top. Sanchez is just in complete no man's land. Haaland's like, what are you doing? And he just dinks it over him.
Ridiculous goalkeeper. I think he's costing them week in, week out. Sanchez. I've said it, right beginning of the season. This guy's not good enough for Chelsea. I don't know why they signed him in the first place, and I don't know why there's continual trust in him, because he's just not good enough for where they want to be. And he's every week at the moment he's costing them really poor goals, and that was another one. He just go walkabouts. I don't know what his thinking is. Obviously, the way the game started for Kuzanov, it was borderline getting to Jonathan Woodgate territory, where he got sent off and scored an own goal on his debut for Real Madrid, and looked like it was going to be up there with that. Luckily for him, it kind of calmed down after that first 10 minutes, but clearly he was, I don't know if it was just nerves or what it was, but he was just all over the shop. Even when I look at that back pass that he did for the goal, like, I don't know what he's thinking, because it was just a bad decision to head the ball in that situation in the first place. He had time. He could even taken a touch. Then the header was never going to make it to the keeper. I don't know what he's thinking even to head that. Just either clear your lines or take a touch, get it down. I don't know why he's thinking to head the ball back to the keeper in that situation. He was never going to get enough on it. It was just a horrible decision to do it, and then he completely gets it wrong anyway. It was just a horrible moment for him. And then I think crucial moment in the game, probably at 1-0, Palmer goes through one-on-one, has Jackson to his left, and just completely screws up the pass. I think if it's 2-0, probably Chelsea could go on to win that game, but that chance goes a begging. They screw it up, and I thought actually after that moment, Chelsea were really poor. I thought they started really well, and then Chelsea were really poor, and Man City definitely were the better side. And from one bad debut to a decent one in Mamouche, who looked decent.
I thought he looked really good, Mamouche. I mean, I don't think like he did anything spectacular, but I think you can see he's going to be a really good player for them. He's quick on the move.
Rapid, isn't he?
Every time any Man City midfielder or fullback get the ball, he's on the move straight away. He's going to get a lot of goals in that football team. He looks like a real top talent, in my opinion. And Gvardiol as well put in an unbelievable performance, scored a goal, but should have had a hat-trick on the day.
Yeah, he was their biggest threat in that first time. He just kept getting chance after chance, and it was like all the chances were falling for him, and then it wasn't surprised he was the one obviously who got the goal. And then obviously I think Foden wrapped it up late on. But yeah, obviously the 2-1 Haaland's goal. What is Sanchez doing? But yeah, City off the back of a poor defeat to PSG, good for them to get back to winning ways, and I think the signings will really help them in the long run. I don't know if they'll make any more signings.
Apparently they are.
If they do, they need to just obviously win tomorrow in the Champions League, and if they can do that, they can still have a good season.
Yeah. Next up is Crystal Palace 1, Brentford 2 at Selhurst Park. Sim went for 1-0 to Palace. I went for 2-0 to Palace. And Brentford, seemingly against most of the odds, take the 3 points. They go 1-0 up with a penalty from Mbuemo. Sade makes it 2, and Roman Esse from the bench, I think it was. I don't know if did he start or it was on the bench.
I don't know, but what was funny is I think he scored with 10 minutes to go, and they're losing, and he's
5 minutes, yeah.
5 minutes to go. And he's doing a knee side celebration.
Oh, did he?
I'm like, what are you doing? You get the ball. You're losing. It's 2-1.
That was like when Aubameyang or Lacazette did a flip celebration. It was Aubameyang did a flip celebration at 1-1 against Palace or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what. I know. Look, I get it. He's a young player. It's his debut, I think, and he scored. So I get it, but. I get you're happy, but it's a team game. This isn't about you and your team's losing. You've got to just get the ball and try and get back in the game. But yeah, great result for Brentford away from home. I think that's Palace's first loss in a while. So, not an easy place to go and win, and very impressive. Mbuemo again, another goal for him. They had to retake the penalty, didn't they, for this one? Fantastic. What form he's on this whole season. I think we know he's destined for a big move. And Brentford now, 11th, Palace. Yeah, so Palace are now well clear of any talk of relegation. They have been for a while. So Palace maybe a Are they? Well, they're only 4 points behind Brentford now. But Brentford with a brilliant win, so fair play to them.
Tottenham 1, Leicester 2. Sim went for 2-1 to Tottenham. I went for 1-1. And yeah, I just knew Spurs weren't going to win this game, running on empty. I thought first half we were probably the better side, creating the better chances, took the lead 1-0. But then within 5 minutes of the second half, Leicester scored 2 goals with horrific defending from Tottenham Hotspur. And you just knew when Tottenham went 2-1 down, there was no chance we were going to get back in the game. And yeah, it's Dr. Tottenham all over again. 7 losses in a row for Leicester. They come to Tottenham Hotspur and they take the 3 points.
Yeah, I think it's a classic case of Tottenham shooting themselves in the foot in this one. I thought first half, it was good. I don't think spectacular, but I thought 1-0 was a fair reflection of the first half. Nothing more than that, I would say. But obviously, Richarlison got on the score sheet and looking like Tottenham were finally going to get their first win in a while, but wasn't to happen. They conceded 2 goals within 5 minutes of the restart. Sloppy, terrible defending, sloppy play in midfield. And even if against teams like Leicester, if you do that, they'll punish you, and that's exactly what they did. And Vardy getting on the score sheet, El Khanous, and it was just shocking. And Tottenham couldn't even name a full bench. That's how deep the injury crisis is at the moment for Spurs. And they just had no answers to Leicester taking the lead in that. And it was comfortable, really, in that last half an hour for Leicester. Yeah. Apart from what, I think Decky had a chance when Kinski played him through. Apart from that, don't remember too like Porro hit the bar, but from a free kick. Spurs, I mean, the problem is, yeah, the worrying thing is Leicester looked really troubled in that last, half an hour, 20 minutes or so. And that's got to be very, very worrying. And Tottenham getting pulled ever closer to that relegation zone, albeit the gap is still 8 points. But, Leicester closed the gap to 7. And Tottenham, they just lost to a team on the run of 7 defeats in a row. And but it's funny, people say at the moment, they look at Tottenham and they say, we're looking at teams like Leicester saying 7 defeats in a row, we have to win. But they're probably looking at us saying, well, they've lost 7 out of 10, we have to win. And that's the sorry.
You don't have to tell me that. That's exactly what I'm saying at the moment. Spurs 2 wins since the start of November. It's nowhere near good enough. And if Spurs fans or anyone looking outside saying Spurs are too good to go down, you probably think so. But with the way we're playing at the moment, with the fatigue that's going into it, we can't seem to beat anyone at the moment. We've just lost back-to-back to Everton and Leicester, who have been 2 of the poorer sides in the league this season. And a few weeks before that, we drew to Wolves. So even the teams below us, we can't seem to get points against. So where are the points coming from?
Just need players. We need players. We've got a whole team out, pretty much. And it's getting worse. Madison's now down.
Exactly. So where are the points coming from?
At the moment, until we get players back, as I've said, I don't see the results changing until the injuries come back. I just don't.
Next up, Villa against West Ham. It finished 1-1. Sim went for 2-1 to Villa. I went for 3-2 to Villa, and Villa have got to be bitterly disappointed that they didn't take 3 points in this game. I didn't see much of it, but they go 1-0 up after 8 minutes with Ramsey. Emerson levelling it up with 20 minutes to go. And it's 1-1, and it looks like Ezri Konsa actually was man of the match. So maybe West Ham should have taken more out of this game.
Well, second half, West Ham definitely came back into it and probably deserved the draw in the end because I thought they played really well. They really grew into the game, and obviously they got the equaliser for Emerson and even could have won it late on. There was obviously Paquetá had a goal ruled out from VAR right at the end through offside. But, good start to the game from Villa, but they just let the game drift. They do have that tendency to do that in some of these games, I feel, Villa. And, I think Potter... It was a good performance. Getting a draw at Villa Park's never easy, so fair play to him. And I think if they can get some attacking signings, maybe they'll really can take advantage of what Potter can do for them. But right now, I think they've got a lot of injuries in the front line, and they're I think struggling for quality up there. But I think Potter's been all right early doors at West Ham. Well, results wise, I wouldn't say performances have been amazing. This has probably been one of the best ones so far. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Sim went for 2-1 to Fulham. I went for 3-1 to Fulham. So Man United, maybe life under Amorim is starting to seem a bit better for Manchester United. It was a poor performance last time out, but they do get the win here with a brilliant goal from Lisandro Martinez. Not deflection.
Was it deflection? I only saw it once.
I think it took a deflection. But I think United got lucky. Not in the sense that Fulham were much better than them, but in the sense I thought United were poor again. And I thought, you could look at the stat. They created in the game 0.25 XG throughout the whole game. So they really didn't create a lot. In fact, in open play...
They didn't concede much either, though.
They didn't, but as I said, I don't think Fulham were much better, but I just don't think they were great on the day at Man United. They created from open play 0.03 expected goals, so they really struggled on the ball in this one. But
They've
look,
got a lack of quality in the front line, though. That's the reality.
yeah, and I think they've lacked the balance. I think some games they've been really poor defensively, but they look better going forward, and then some games like this one a bit better defensively, but then terrible going forward.
100 million spent on Højlund and Xerxes.
Yeah, and they're just not good enough.
Yeah.
They're not good enough players. But yeah, they got the win. It's a look, winning Craven Cottage never easy, so good win. But again, it just watching the game. No, I know they won, but still unconvincing.
And the Star men, Sim smashed it out with Cody Gakpo, 2 goals and 1 assist, getting 12 points.
Come on.
And I got Anthony Gordon, who only got an assist. So we finish off Sim on 208. I'm on 216. The gap has been significantly cut this week, and we see another round of Premier League predictions on Thursday. So we'll see you there. Like, subscribe, and comment.